My 31 male fiancé 34 female cheated and got pregnant by the other guy. I have been engaged to marry my fiancé for approx. 4 years, together for over 10 years. We had our ups and downs, probably like most, but it was never due to anything dubious. As far as I'm aware, I have been sensing / feeling / seeing new red flags pop up about 6 months ago when my so started a new job. I had supported her throughout her education prior to this new job, and we were both exited that she would be able to pursue a career with her new credentials. Now that she's been on the job for a few months, she's started making new friends. So the first few red flags were her staying out very late, 3 a.m., or staying out overnight. She states she slept at her sister's house and not coming home until the morning after. I am one to trust, so I let it go without further investigation. Then she goes out of state to a beach about 6 hours away with her new friends from work, or so she told me at the time. Apparently, when she was at this beach trip, she met a guy at a bar and they proceeded to have 8 weeks ago. My so comes home after the trip, and a day later she states she needs to leave to rethink our engagement and relationship. I am blindsided, obviously, because I've been carrying on like normal, not knowing anything was really going on. At this point, I don't know about the cheating. I asked her to stay and offered to go to counseling, but she insisted and left, and was supposedly sleeping at her sister's house. She eventually did come back and stated she wanted to work on things and also confirmed she would be willing to go to couples counseling. 3 weeks ago, she tells me she's pregnant. Again, I'm one to trust, so I assume it's mine, as we've been trying for a while to start a family. I get exited and start making baby plans, bought baby books, corner protectors, act. However, I had those red flags pop up in my mind, and my thoughts started to spiral. So I told her I would like to have a paternity test done to confirm I'm the father. I stated that I trusted her, but I explained it as my own insecurity and needed to fulfill this request. She was upset that I made the request, and we pushed it aside for a while. I brought up the paternity test again this Friday at home, as we were discussing the baby. She broke down at this time and told me she's been cheating on me, and that she is 100% sure that the father is the other guy. She then told me she made an appointment for an abortion for the next day. I was shocked, to say the least, and my heart was broken. I didn't freak out. I'm still waiting for that to happen if I'm honest, and told her I would take her to her abortion appointment, as it was over an hour away and didn't want her getting sick or something on the way home. She later tells me that she met this guy on her beach trip when they had, and then they met up again. I assume during her other stay at her sister's, but she denies this, and had for a second time, what she tells me could be more than twice-eyed. She told me the father told her that he wants nothing to do with the child, and he recommended her to get an abortion. She's been wanting a baby for a while, so this was difficult for her to hear, I'm sure. He also suggested that she get me to raise it. LOL, I guess they talked about me. Who knows, maybe if I wasn't talking about the paternity testing, I would have fallen into that. I have promptly left our apartment and moved back in with my parents. She is trying to say that she loves me, but I'm devastated and can't see anything being repaired at this point. I am just so upset about the life we had being destroyed, and I lost my companion, her dog, but I am home with it all the time as IWFH, and all the other things that crumble alongside a relationship dying. I guess I'm looking for some advice on what to do next, or for some insight on how to start feeling the effects of this, because I feel dead right now. Edit. Thank you for all of the support. Reading these comments is helping me cope with the situation, so I appreciate it. I have moved out about 85% of all of my stuff. Some of the remaining items are in storage and bundled together, so I will have to schedule some time with the ex-fiancé to go through it all. But once that last trip there is done, then I'll be completely moved out. I have everything of significant value out of there. Edit 2. The lease was terminated on, and of course, she wasn't fully moved out yet, so I had to go over and help her get rid of the remaining items. I was under the impression that it was a ton of stuff still, but luckily it wasn't too bad and only took me about 2 hours, and we got everything out of there. I said goodbye after that with no affection and left, and haven't seen her since. The only other remaining item was car insurance, which I terminated and obtained a new policy. Texted her that the policy was terminating and she had 10 days to find a new policy, so I gave her plenty of time to look for one. Who knows what she did, but that's not my problem. I haven't spoken to her since I texted her about the car insurance, and that was on 1/3/2022. She hasn't attempted to contact me in any way. Not that I want her to. On the contrary, I'm very pleased She hasn't tried calling me or whatever. I spoke with the landlord and was told that I would be receiving documentation regarding my early termination fee and how to settle that. I went online to their renter's portal and my account has been deactivated, so I can't view anything. The landlord did state that they had another renter lined up already. I'm still confused about how this termination fee will work, as they haven't sent me anything. I'm wondering if there is something COVID-related that is preventing them from charging me or some other clause I'm not sure about, but I haven't paid any of the fee yet, so I'm just kind of waiting for that to show up in the mail at some point. I assume they're going to send me the fee, but it'd be a nice surprise if I, for some reason, didn't have to pay that $3,000. Other than that, I've been doing well. I still have yet to get upset emotionally. Like I haven't shed a single tear about her or our relationship dying. I feel free, I suppose. I've been busy at the gym, busy with my side work, and enjoying my hobbies whenever I want to. I also scheduled a rock climbing and hiking trip with one of my best friends that I never get to see. It's so liberating doing things that I want to without having to check with someone else or make sure money is good or make sure our schedules are set. I can just do whatever I want, and it's awesome. One of the comments in this post said that I haven't been upset because my future self knows how great my life will be one day, and I believe in that more every day. I feel like I was limited before, but now I don't have anything holding me back and I want to go experience all there is to see in life. Story number 2. I'm too embarrassed to tell any of my pals about this recent revenge story, since I'm not sure how they'll react. In advance, I apologize if this isn't acceptable for this section, but I hope you enjoy it. Consider this incident from a few years ago. Despite my previous partner's full-ride scholarship to the local public college, I plan to relocate. We both agree to make long-distance relationships work. After I depart, I have an anxiety attack and call my ex-boyfriend for help. She assures me that her aloofness is due to tension, not boredom. As a result, I don't get to bed until 3 a.m. the next morning. My ex calls me in tears, admitting she had cheated but felt terrible about it and didn't care what others thought. I finally caved and did the right thing, giving her a second opportunity. The anxiety and paranoia made it difficult to concentrate on schoolwork and other obligations. I spent every waking hour suspiciously, following her social media sites and contacting her. Also, she was able to persuade me that she had cheated on me because of my sentiments of hopelessness and dread. She would go to great measures to keep me from socializing with other women out of jealousy. I am compelled to live on the streets until a few weeks after spring break. My university operates on a quarter/trimester system, when I shall return to school. Despite the fact that I needed multiple surgeries before returning to school, she needed several more months to keep me on her hook. Please keep in mind that I have always struggled with ADHD, depression, and anxiety, so I felt like I had hit rock bottom and was a complete failure. This kind of grief is difficult to let go of, and I've been holding it in for a long time. I have occasionally indulged in borderline alcoholic behavior, such as drinking and sleeping around, but who hasn't? Consider a time frame of about 18 months, or around the November election. After much therapy and patience, I am finally able to operate properly in my life. An ex-boyfriend's message made me feel like I was being dumped again. Even though I'm trying to be kind and not let my emotions get in the way of my actions, this has me enraged. Despite her lack of remorse, I keep my mouth shut and merely ask if we can hang out more casually when I come home for the holidays. Even though she agrees, I devise a plan to make her pay for putting me through such a difficult time in my life. After weeks of planning, we finally got to hang out. So for moral reasons, I cannot actively flirt or initiate contact, as I shall explain later in this piece. We can easily spend several hours strolling around a mall before returning her home. Even after realizing that she is still in a relationship with the man she cheated on years before, I retain my composure. Then she greets me in the parking lot and invites me to her house because her parents are away. We go into an empty elevator, and she starts making out with me on the other side of the room as soon as the doors close. We start doing the dishes and cleaning up as soon as we get there. During the conversation, I decide to shoot images and videos with her permission. So I tell her I'm going to take a nap, and she does too. I take advantage of the fact that she has left the house to send her lover the photos and videos I have made with her phone, unlocked it using her fingerprint. Following her and her partners unfollowing and blocking on all social media networks, I also blocked their phone numbers. This is something I wanted to stress because I did want to be held responsible for her initial seduction. I went out to prove that she had chosen to cheat and that I was not. primarily responsible for her deception. After learning that she would have cheated on me if I hadn't intervened, I don't feel bad about potentially damaging that relationship. In fact, I had no sympathy for him because he knew she had cheated on me with him. I haven't spoken to either of them or our old buddy group since, but I've heard she's tried to seduce some of my childhood friends. I couldn't care less what they did. I wouldn't want my worst enemy engaged with her under any circumstances.